Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of KashCraft. My name is KashMuney, and this is episode 24. We are back at the Funhouse doing more work today. So far, we already have a ton of rooms done. In last episode, we built the skeleton for our rotating tunnel. This thing looks incredible. It really messes with your sense of what Minecraft is. So today, we have a ton planned. First, we need to connect the Tomorrowland City in the Clouds to our rotating tunnel. And then we need to add the next couple rooms to our Funhouse. As you can see, I planned ahead, which never happens, and dug out the space for the rooms that we are going to be building today. We have 3 rooms, and then we need to create the exit out of our Funhouse. And I would like to make the entrance a little bit more grand, make this building a little bit bigger. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. Let's get started. I first want to get this connecting space done. I don't really want to do a ton with it. I kind of just want it to be a transition place between the city in the clouds and the rotating tunnel. I think making this too crazy is just going to take away from how cool each of these rooms are. But I was wondering, what if we make it look like the interior of one of the buildings from the city in the clouds? Maybe we can add a building exterior like we have here, or maybe here. That way when you go in, it's oh, it's a very futuristic setting, kind of feels very technical, very redstone-y, and then we take the turn and boom, it's a rotating tunnel. Okay, I have a nice combination of materials. I think this should be enough to make our room, but who knows, we'll probably be back to get more. Okay, so the first plan of action is to turn this little walkway into a building. Right now, it's literally just a hanging doorway. We need to add something dropping down into the clouds, and then probably something going up. Okay, so how to approach this? To be honest, I don't have an exact plan for this. We're just kind of picking blocks and going with them, but I definitely want this entrance to feel very representative of what this city is. We want the copper, we want the greenery, we want it to feel eco-futuristic. But it's important to make sure we don't overwhelm the build. Maybe we just stick to the copper and quartz look and throw in a little bit of andesite and greenery, but not too much. Okay, I'm finding my groove. So I think we want to make sure we have some light, and then we can add some andesite kind of in the middle. Okay, that's feeling much better. We can continue with the andesite look going upwards. Maybe have some quartz and some copper again. Okay, there we go. Now we have our nice little tower, and I have a little base below. So we have the exit. Let's do a quick entrance. We're not going to do too much for this. And there we go. Nothing too crazy, but I like it. Although it kind of looks like a face. I mean, you have the 2 eyes and then a big giant mouth. It's kind of throwing me off. But hey, you have to go through the clown's mouth to get into the city in the clouds. And if you want to, I guess, go back the same way, you have to go through another mouth. I guess it works. Okay, so now we have the room leading to the rotating tunnel. This room is going to be inside one of the buildings of the city in the clouds. So I want to keep this pretty industrial. I think we're gonna have maybe a nice little access tunnel leading to a big, I don't know, reactor room or something, and then you turn and get to the rotating tunnel. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking of for the hallway. Just something nice and simple. Maybe we can have some arches, and then for the walls, I am not too sure what to do. My inventory is such a mess. Ignore that, please. But I was thinking maybe we can do a combination of smooth stone and some diorite, maybe? I do feel like the walls are a little bit boring right now, but we can fix that later. I want to work on the ceiling. I think it'd be cool to have some wires kind of going across the roof or whatever. I thought we could maybe do this with some hoppers and some, what are these? Lightning rods. Perfect, there we go. Now we can just add some stuff to the walls and work on the roof. So I might have gotten a bit carried away, but I went ahead and just textured these walls and added some little wires kind of snaking in and out of this place. Definitely has a rough appearance, but we tried to, stick with the industrial theme, stick with some of the aspects of the futuristic city. I also did the other hallway leading to the rotating tunnel. Okay, but now we need to work on this center area. I think I want to do some sort of vat or scientific equipment. I don't know, just something to be interesting right here. Something like this maybe, just a nice little vat, some weird wires, coming into the vat, and then some wires going out. I spent way too long building this, but I think it is so cool. I don't know what it is. If you're walking through this in the Funhouse, it's what is this? This is kind of creepy, but it looks cool. Okay, now we can finally start connecting up the rotating tunnel. I really just want a big funnel kind of thing going from this to this, and maybe we need to make a better transition here, but yeah, let's get working on that. Okay, so I closed up this entrance a little bit, that way like you don't know what's behind the next door, so you open it and then it's the tunnel. But now I just need to make a transition kind of going from this to this. Okay, so that's what we did for one of the funnels. I just textured it a little bit. Oh, and I did have the thought of just adding some frog lights scattered throughout the base of this farm. That way when the tunnel is off and, you know, we don't have lights in here all the time, mobs aren't going to spawn in here. I guess we can test it real quick. So if I just flip the machine off and then head back over. Perfect. When the machine's off, there's still lights. So that way we won't get random creepers spawning in the middle of that. Okay, let's do the other funnel. And there we go. We just have the end of our tunnel leading to a door to the next room. But before we work on that, I still need to create an activation system for this. I don't want it running all the time. It might break. I don't know. I don't know redstone enough to know if it would break, but I don't want to risk that. And besides, I want to cut down on the lag. So I am just going to create a little system that will detect, you know, when somebody's coming through and then turn this on for a specific amount of time until it gets turned off. So yeah, let's build that. Shocker, I just spent like 20 minutes on a system that doesn't work. It uses skulk sensors, which is a good idea, but I need to change my approach a bit. I was totally overcomplicating this. I really like to make my life difficult. Okay, this system is so much more less complicated. Basically, we just have a line coming from our skulk sensor leading into our timer. This will last like about 3 minutes. And that will let our tunnel run for that amount of time. And then once that timer's run out, it will lock this, the tunnel system, and we'll get no more lights. Hence, no excessive lag. Let's test this out though. If I just go activate it like that, then we should see the system turn on for a little while. And then after some time, it should turn off. Perfect, there we go. And you can see it turning off. That is great. I did it. It took too long, but we got there. But oh my gosh, making a proper exit to our city in the clouds, to creating our access tunnel with all the weird wires, weird vats, and eventually leading to our rotating tunnel. I am so happy with what we've done so far. Okay, but we have this next room to do. So to give a bit of the plan, we are going to be making little like rooms, each with a different theme, just again, messing with perspective, messing with the reality of Minecraft. So we have one room right here, and then a second room right here is going to lead up to this room right here. And then finally, we have our exit right here that will take us right up to the Funhouse entrance. I guess this time it will be the exit. But yeah, that's the general idea of what we want to do. So we need to start working on each of these rooms. If we're going to be messing with reality and perspective, I have a perfect build for our first room. And boy, I mean a perfect idea. We'll start with a boring gray floor. Then we can add some very basic walls, almost like a yellow tan wallpaper. We can then add in our tiled ceiling. And you know, we probably should light up the space. You know what this space is? It is my version of the back rooms, where the line between reality and not reality definitely gets blurred. And if you're lucky, if you want to call yourself lucky, you might see a little entity in the corner. It just kind of stands there, just watching, doesn't really do anything yet, at least. I love this space. I mean, you have a weird hallway and then you turn and oh, another weird hallway, and then oh look, there's the exit, and then you go by and boom, the entity just catches the corner of your eye and you're like, whoa, what is that? Oh, and I almost forgot, I want to add tripwire hooks to look like little outlets to this room. I don't know, I think it's just funny that like, oh, we're in the back rooms, but you know, there's outlets in case you ever need to charge your phone. Okay, enough of the back rooms. We can move on to our second room. This one's going to be very tall. It's a very plain concept that we've turned on its head. Quite literally, it turns out. I mean, we have actually taken like, you know, an outside scene and completely flipped it. We have some upside down clouds, which were surprisingly hard to make. I was trying to like texture it so that it would be like dark on the bottom and light on the top, and my brain was just like breaking trying to do that. And then we just have a pretty simple ground above, maybe a little lake, nothing too crazy. I mean, ultimately people are going to be looking at what's near them, and that's clouds and the cell tower. And the cell tower is the way you get up. You just climb a ladder, and that will take us to our next room. This room turned out super cool though. It definitely messes with reality like we were going for. But this next room is a little bit more convoluted, I think. I don't know. They're all kind of like crazy, but I had to actually build this in a creative world just to get the idea right. So here's my building test world where I have created lots of different stuff, but I have these two rooms right here. So the theme of this last room is going to be like a nice, like kind of parlor sitting area, and the idea is you go through the fireplace to exit the funhouse. This is like a very nice space. Well, it was nice until I started messing with it. So I had the idea of taking that space and, well, multiplying it in the z-axis by 2. So everything just looks really tall and like really awkward. So we have like a huge fireplace, some tall chairs you can't really get up into. Everything just is stretched. And I actually really like this. It messes with reality in a very predictable way. Like it just looks weird. It makes you feel small. Just going along with the theme of the funhouse, like I've said. And then ultimately you walk through the fireplace and you're out. So yeah, that's what I want to build. So back on KashCraft, and we have an empty room to fill. I have a ton of resources that we are going to use to build this stretched out room. So first we can put together the fireplace exit. Okay, there's our fireplace. It looks a little bit silly right now, you know, with just a stone room, but I'm liking it. Now, I guess we can work on the walls of the room and get the general gist of it set up. And there are the walls. I especially like this netherrack right here. It gives off that like fancy red wallpaper, and with the wooden trim and the stone base, it just looks like really clean and really fancy, and it works well with the fireplace. All right, let's get the bookshelf wall in. No, I heard it. I saw, oh no, that's so many items. I saw the creeper walking up to me and I was like, oh no, it's gonna blow up. And then I couldn't get away fast enough, and shocker, it did blow up. I need to scramble to get these items put away though. So many. Okay, we put it back together. You know, based on how things are going, I wouldn't be surprised if I accidentally like light this whole place on fire or something. Now we can work on the rest of the room. If we just go up and walk into our stretched out room, we can see that it is done. I just love how everything is too tall. Like, these chairs really make you feel short. We have the bookshelves, which I love this little like ladder to access the books. I think that's really cool. And then we just have stuff and like cool items on the shelves. And yeah, I really like this space. It's fancy, but it's off, and it fits perfectly in the funhouse. And if we just walk through the massive fireplace, we have the exit. We're just going to do a nice little staircase going up. So my chest monster problem that I've been having, yeah, it finally got up to me. I need some green dye, and I know I have some cactus somewhere, but I don't know where the cactus is. So I have to run to a desert and go get it. Or maybe not. I guess I had some other cactus in the last place to check. I'll take it, I guess. I just didn't think I had any. The chest monster wins again. But anyways, here we are making the final tunnel. We're gonna do it in the rainbow colors. Make sure we're appreciating, you know, what the funhouse is. It's fun rainbow colors. And then we can make our stairs going up with the alternating circus colors, red and white. Add some light sources, add our final details, and the exit is done. A little bit jumpy with all the steps and turning, but I like it. Okay, so we are almost done. Finally, we have one last thing to do, and that is to finish up the funhouse exterior. It looks okay right now, but if we zoom out a bit, it just looks almost like a convenience store, like compared to the massive circus. So we want to make this a little bit bigger and on a better scale with the circus. So I have my chest monster here, and somewhere in it are the resources to build the exterior of the funhouse. So you know what? Let's do it. Roll that time lapse. Oh my gosh, the funhouse is officially done. Look at how amazing this thing looks. Like, it is spectacular, it is big, like it is just a lot going on. We have aspects of the funhouse incorporated into it. I mean, we have like the rotating tunnel, obviously the clown right here, a little bit of the futuristic city. And if we just zoom out a bit, it is comparable to the circus. Like, it's definitely small, but it doesn't feel like terribly small, and it really like sticks out. Like, you see the circus and you're like, whoa, this is awesome. But then you see the funhouse is like, oh, that's cool. I want to try out that after I go to the circus. And then in the back, I just added some like utility stuff. It's the stuff you're not really going to see on a building, but it's there. You know, you need your power, you need your, I don't know, AC or whatever this stuff is. And you know what? Now that our funhouse is done, why don't we do a tour of it? So here we are being a circus goer, you know, the funhouse. Whoa, this thing is crazy. Looks super cool. Okay, and then we enter. Thankfully, there's no line. We can just hop right in, push the button, and go. We enter the mad scientist lab, and oh look, there's a puzzle we need to solve. We need to find the code. So we have magenta and then orange. So we put that in, open it up into the rainbow room. Of course, we gotta close it up. And then we have these beautiful colors and the creepy clown whose mouth we have to go through. Enter through the tongue, through the clown's mouth, into Tomorrowland, the land of the future. And we have all of the armor trims with the armor trim collector. If you just look down, you can see, ooh, how deep does this go? You see buildings disappearing into the fog. Really feels like a city in the clouds, which I love. And then, oh look, the next entrance, we go this way, and oh, this one's pretty industrial. You know, we have some rock walls, some weird wires, maybe some industrial lighting, and ooh, there's a vat, kind of creepy, the wires leading in and out. And we keep on going to another hallway with a weird door, and then oh, what is this? This isn't reality. We have a nice rotating tunnel giving very trippy vibes. Kind of makes me motion sick, but it looks super cool. Just walk along this runway, just appreciating how non-Minecraft this looks. And then we enter through this door into the back rooms. Enter, oh look, there's the exit, but then ooh, an entity, creepy. Go through this door, and we have the upside down land. I have a nice cell tower. We're standing on the sky apparently, and you have the clouds. Climb up here. Then we get to the stretched out room, a very luxurious little fireplace sitting area, but just looks a little bit weird. And then finally walk through the fireplace, and that is our exit. We go up through the rainbow tunnel, and just like that, we are out of there. That is so cool. It feels so good to have this done. It looks so good. It's everything I could have imagined and more. Definitely what this circus mega base needed, and I love it. Well, the last thing to do is add our frame, so let's do that. And there we go, a nice little replica of the funhouse. But everyone, that is going to be all for today. I don't think I've ever made an episode with this much progress before, so if you stayed till the end, thank you. And if you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe, and leave a comment for what your favorite part of the funhouse is. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day!